Today marks 15 years since that fateful day when Flight 93 went down in this field behind me. I decided to give wheelchair basketball a shot, and I can tell you one thing. It's exactly as hard as it looks. I'm John McHugh with sports. It's been a year to remember for Penn State football as the 7th-ranked Nittany Lions notched their 10th win of the season on Saturday with a big win over Michigan State. That changed on Monday night when the Minnesota Wild and the Buffalo Sabres opened up their preseasons at PEGULA Ice Arena. The Little Lions entered the game 2-0 after road wins the first 2 weeks of the season. They were trying to continue that trend on Friday night. While Senator Sanders certainly energized the capacity crowd here at Rec Hall, not everyone we spoke to was as excited or as optimistic about his chances. Little Lions football is back in State College. State High played their home opener in front of a packed house this weekend. The Little Lions welcome Mifflin County to Memorial Field, a team they've beaten every year since 2012. The Little Lions entered the game 2-0 after road wins the first 2 weeks of the season. They were trying to continue that trend on Friday night. And State High got right to it on their first possession. Tyler Snyder finds Noah Woods in the end zone for the score. It put the Little Lions up 7-0. On the very next possession, Snyder hands it to Tristan Lyons, who scoots into the end zone. The Little Lions lead 14-0 less than 10 minutes into the game. Second quarter, State High up 24-0. Mifflin County hands it off, and Cameron Walker forces the fumble, recovered by Joshua Ruffner for State High. Little Lions take advantage of the field position after the turnover. Snyder tosses it to Eric Swanson, who runs it in for 6. That made it 31-0. State High kept up the pace for the rest of the game, coming away with a 51-7 victory. After the game, coach Matt Lintal spoke about the hometown crowd.
You know, our fans not only showed up, but they stayed for the whole game. It really means a lot to our guys to be able to kind of, you know, get the game well in hand and be able to look up and see all the people that came out to kind of celebrate this moment.
Even the players feel that the Memorial Field crowd is a huge help.
We definitely feed off the momentum at home, and it's going to help us playing these tough games at home coming up.
The Little Lions return to action at home this Friday against Mechanicsburg. From State College, I'm John McHugh for the Center County Report.
Lorraine Grace Bay.
40 names read by those who lost loved ones aboard United Flight 93, each followed by the toll of bells. Each year on September 11th, hundreds of people gather at the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville to commemorate the events of that flight, which changed the course of history. Today marks 15 years since that fateful day when Flight 93 went down in this field behind me after the courageous actions of 40 passenger and crew aboard prevented the hijackers from reaching their intended target in Washington, D.C. This year's ceremony featured speeches by 3 Pennsylvania congressmen as well as the U.S. Secretary of the Interior, Sally Jewell. Also speaking was the president of the families of Flight 93, who spoke about the importance of keeping the memories of those lost alive.
Time will eventually erode all emotional connections to September 11th. And if there's nothing left to remember beyond emotion, there's nothing left to remember.
All of us as Americans, you know, have the responsibility to keep the memory of not only 9/11 happened, but the passengers and crew of Flight 93.
People from all over the country were in attendance on Sunday for many different reasons. Some just want to pay their respects to the passengers and crew.
We all want to show support for the families of Flight 93, and we haven't missed a service yet, and we'll continue to go to the service.
Even some who didn't lose a loved one on Flight 93 have deep personal connections to the flight.
My son, Doug, was working in the Russet Senate building at the Capitol on 9/11. And then when we heard that this plane, Flight 93, was headed to the Capitol, I mean, I was just distraught because I knew my son worked there. And thanks to these people, these brave people, my son is still alive.
The ceremonies concluded with the annual laying of a wreath in front of the wall of names and opening of the gate that separates the exact spot where the plane crashed from the rest of the memorial. From Shanksville, I'm John McHugh for the Center County Report.